Welcome to Modern Leadership Live, where we create collaborative conversations to connect your company culture as well as the world community. I am so excited that I'm joined today by Ann. She is the owner of Constructively Speaking, the master wealth builder. She owns MCO Construction, MCO Consulting. She is the founder of the National Association of Black Women in Construction. And I know your recent heart project is your National Mastermind Association, right? Which I'm
Correct.
excited to join you. We're bringing our whole group to join you, and not this January, but next January, because we couldn't come, but you have one January 30th coming up, right? That people can join you at. And
Correct.
I'll put that link in the chat and I'll put it below as well. But Ann, thank you so much for joining us today. I see you as someone who is able to bring so much life to the world. And for long periods of time, I see the work that you do is so sustainable. And what do you think the world needs more now than ever as it relates to leadership?
Well, Nina, I think that really it is personal and corporate accountability. And as a certified coach with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, I read the book in 1979, Think and Grow Rich. And the one leading theme, yes, the one leading thing in the book that has set my life on this path is personal accountability and corporate accountability in every area of my life and all of my associations and involvements in the community and in business.
Yes. And I noticed that when we were meeting last week, you showed me this big book of like 600 pages of how you hold yourself accountable and how you embody your message and accountability at all levels.
Absolutely. I think that, many of us talk about New Year's resolutions, we talk about goals and vision and plans, but it actually starts with your own goal. What is your vision for yourself? What is your vision for your family? And I think that when we start with that foundation, you can build on top of that. One of my favorite books is 7 Habits of Highly Effective Families by Stephen Covey. One of the key points in the book is he gives a number of examples of how do you create a family mission statement. So when you talk about personal and corporate accountability, it really starts in the home.
I love that so much because we talk to a lot of people who are so caught up in wanting to provide financially for their families, but they forget about them. Who are they being within their family unit and how are they all operating together? So I love this idea of a mission statement for your family and then thinking about how do I build a company culture around that.
And that's the foundation upon which we build the International Mastermind Association for Think and Grow Rich on an annual accountability. And we'll talk about this later, but also at the end of this month, that's why I'm doing this event to encourage individuals. What is it that you're planning on doing this year? Where is it written? Is your family involved? And who's holding you accountable?
Oh my goodness. So it would be a good idea if you're in a mastermind or you do executive roundtables to invite the people that you're with and also bring your family members to this event.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. We have a youth mastermind that I've been doing for over 25 years. And many of those individuals now, of course, are adults. And we still do it every single Sunday at 3:30 for 30 minutes with the youth on Zoom with Think and Grow Rich as they read through the book.
I love how you build your community culture as well as the company culture and what you're doing. And I had asked you the other day, I said, Ann, tell me a little bit about your retention, your employee retention. You're like, oh, I don't have a problem with that. And I said, why? And you said, because I hire interns and you stay with them through you have people that have stayed with you for years.
Yes, right now I have interns that started with me over 40 years ago. Yes, over 40 years ago in my company, MCO Construction. And I was sharing with you that when we talk about the hard rock guitar building, one of my interns came to me in the 9th grade, stayed for 20 years, and she was assistant project manager on that project. So I'm now working for some of my interns that were with me 40, 30, 20 years ago.
And that's the other thing I noticed about you too, is you don't have this better than, philosophy. And this leads to our next question is, what are some old paradigms that get in the way of leading accountability and embodying accountability? What are some paradigms that get in the way?
Well, I think that it's not my responsibility. Very often we take, it's not my responsibility for my life, for my finances, for my health and my wealth. And that's an old paradigm that's starting to shift now as we become more health conscious, more success conscious, more money conscious. And that is shifting with the, consciousness of what's happening with mindfulness and all of these different thought leadership philosophies. That's now, it's all biblical, of course, because the principles don't change. They don't change.
So really taking responsibility for ourselves and thinking that everything's our responsibility, the way we are with our staff, with our company, with ourselves, with our families, everything. It's really about us and taking responsibility for our impact and the impact and looking at how we're impacting others.
Absolutely. And also when you go outside of that on a global level also. So, we talk about and we hear about wanting to change others. But the reality, and we've all heard this, is that start with yourself, your family, your community, your county, your state, and of course, United States. And by doing that, we become the change we want to see in the world.
Love it so much. Ann, what is one bold prediction you see for modern leadership in the future as you think about some of these old paradigms busting away, where people are realizing they are the change they wish to see, and there's more and more people embracing that? What do you think is a bold prediction that you have for our future?
Well, as a Rotarian, a very proud Rotarian, and also a graduate of Florida Memorial University, we've been taught service above self. Our motto in Rotary is service above self. And so I believe that when we look at living a life of significance and leaving a legacy, it truly is about service. So that's my bold prediction for especially this year. When you look at everything that's going on in our lives, it is truly about giving and supporting others, but to leave a legacy, but not necessarily to do it for that reason, but it's above self. That's why they call it service above self.
That's so good. So when I'm thinking about putting service above myself, that the natural impact of that is the legacy, my legacies created. People remember that. That's the impact. People remember that feeling that they had being around me, those kinds of things, versus just doing it for the sake of, so I build this legacy.
Except for the sake of profit. We hear a lot about servant leadership. But really, what is servant leadership? Many of the corporations now are becoming more service focused in terms of their customer, internal customers and clients, and external customers and clients, because our employees are also clients.
Yes.
Yeah, they're also clients. So I really do believe that when we look at corporate responsibility, personal responsibility, service above self, it really begins to add more profit to the bottom line in the long term, not short term, but in the long term, because it truly is also a function of time.
What you're saying is treating people with respect at all levels and really looking at humanity, whatever your position is or your title, that really, really honoring the fact that we're human beings in this together. I love that. That's so good to think about it as a system.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of a system, and I know we're going to wrap up, I'd like to encourage your listeners also another really good book that helps with the accountability, personal and corporate responsibility and accountability is Traction. And along with Traction, EOS, what the heck is EOS? And those are some tools, along with many others, when you talk about masterminding to be accountable in every area of your life. I think that that's very important.
That's so good. Ann, thank you so much for joining us today. I know that this conversation was so rich. I wish we had more time, but I think you were so powerful today, and you're very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you wish to join in on the conversation, check the links below. We'd love to hear from you, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye, everyone.